I'm here in Newmarket, Ontario to be a part of the largest unboxing that Category 5 Technology TV has ever done.
Hello, I'm Kurt Neiman, Neiman Machinery, Newmarket, Ontario. We're in the process of unloading another container from Geka. Supplies us with our iron workers that we sell across Canada. These iron workers are designed and made to work with structural steel, ideally cutting angle irons, plate, structural shapes, profiles, I-beams, T-shapes, and cutting round bars, square bars, and punching holes, primarily used in the structural steel business. We're making base plates, connector plates. Example of what you see here today, all the structural steel on the crane bays, all the connection plates. They're manufactured in Spain. Geka's been building iron workers for well over 90 years, and they're the world leader in manufacturing of automated iron workers and conventional iron working machines.
And what's your role with regards to the Geka machines?
Primarily sales and scheduling machines. We're working with our dealers across Canada.
And how many machines are coming in today?
We've got 10 machines in this particular container, 5 of which are sold, and a few of them are going out west and the others are going to Quebec.
So they actually nail these machines down to the floor?
They're nailed securely to the hardwood floor, and then they're tied overhead in the container. You've got to realize that these machines are being shipped all the way from Spain across the North Atlantic, so they get into some pretty rough waters at sometimes, but they all arrive nice and secure. We offload them, and then we go through another big procedures for checking the machines and before they get shipped out again. So they'll weigh anywhere from about 1,500 kilograms all the way up to well over 10,000 kilograms in weight. So some good weight there and all that, but we've got a 50-ton crane that we can use to offload, and we've got a 15,000-pound lift truck and another 6,000-pound lift truck to help us unload them and get them ready for the next customers.
So Kurt, what are these crates?
These are crates of all our spares. We keep an intense inventory of machine spares for all of our machines we have across Canada. So with every container we try to optimize the cost for customer, keeping the costs low by bringing in huge amounts of spares with every shipment we do. So
these are repair parts and things like that?
Repair parts, wear parts, and just parts that we find that customers need for the machines. So we try to keep a huge inventory of spares, so when somebody needs a part, we've got it from stock for them. So
planning ahead, that's what it's about.
Now that we've got the machines unloaded from the container, the next step is to move them into our warehouse and then arrange for the electrical inspection to CSA standards, and then after another quality check they get shipped out to our clients. Geka is the most automated iron worker in the world. Geka offers very simple CNC solutions to complete processing lines where we can load up a huge bundle of bars or beams to be actually processed and cut and programmed and marked for the structural steel industry.
So these computerized machines, you say they're CNC, so do they each have their own kind of unit?
Numerically controlled, so they have a control, Windows-based PC, basically from programming simple holes to part marking to cutting miters, punching holes, and cutting to the exact length that you need for structural steel construction.
Did you hit any kind of snags when it comes to the deprecation of Windows XP with your clients?
No, we haven't. So far, the switchover has been good. Geka made the switch over to the Windows 7 base, is it, I think? Yeah. And that transition was done quite a while ago, so we've had no issues at all.
So they were already ready for it well in advance?
Yeah, they were. So, and they've got simple controls, easy to use, and the interface is there for finding machine defaults, so it makes it easier for an operator. If something goes wrong, he can see at a quick glance what's wrong with his machine and why it stopped, and easily get it back working again. So.
Very good. And I suppose because these are not internet connective and you don't have people surfing the web, that you probably don't have too much trouble with stability or viruses getting into those machines?
We don't, but actually the machines are network connected, so the client can actually save his work to the system network and call. So a lot of the machines they'll have multiple machines, and they can call the jobs from the server down to each particular machine, but a lot of them have, they'll just connect them machine to machine, or just a standalone and not connect to the server. But for machine diagnostics, we can connect to the internet, and the factory can actually diagnose the machine from the factory in Spain and make parameter changes in the computer if needed.
Fantastic. So if you hit any snags, they're able to fix it remotely.
That's right. That's right.
Brilliant.
These are a few samples, Robbie, of some of the stuff you can cut in the iron worker. This is just a section bar. You can also do this in rounds and squares for just cutting that. You can also bend on the machine, so flat bars. And then this is typically hole punching and also rectangular coping, but you can also do triangular coping as well. In addition to cutting the angle iron, we can also cut it at 90 degrees like this, or 45 degrees, or in between angles.
And I suppose the machine is that specific that you can choose an angle and it'll do its thing?
You can, yes. So it's that specific, or the operator can put it in and do it whatever angle he needs to do it as well. So
very good. That's some pretty thick steel to be manipulating to that degree.
You can work with angles even heavier than this, and a lot lighter as well. Beams join in the building or on the floor where they are connected to the floor. You have a series of holes where they bolt it to the floor, and then when you join I-beams together, they have connector plates, and that's where we'll cut those plates to size and then punch the holes for those connector plates in the structural steel. It's a very common application for the iron worker. Another example of the connector plate is on the top of the vertical I-beam here, supporting the cross beam. The roof truss is got a plate there that's bolted and welded on there, so that's another application for the iron worker, where we would have cut that angle to length and then punched the holes in there for bolting it to the lower leg of the truss. Next, we have the hydro inspector. He comes in, and each machine is inspected electrically to meet CSA standards. So the machines can be sold across Canada, and there's no fear of not meeting any electrical codes. And then once that inspection is done, they're shipped out to the customers. Now,
your customers obviously are having to wait for that inspection to take place. How long does that take?
The inspection takes really just a matter of a few minutes each machine, but scheduling, we need anywhere from 1 to 2 days to get the inspector in before we can ship the machines out once they've arrived.
So that's not near as bad as it could be. That's not bad at all.
Correct, yes.
If I'm not mistaken from what you're telling me, it's almost like a blacksmith machine in a way.
Similar, and we have a lot of customers that are manufacturing buildings, like structural steel buildings. Like every building you see basically has a structural steel skeleton, and that's what these machines are primarily used for. But we've got guys making furniture with them. We've got them in small shops. We have them in, we recently sold one to a farm operation here not too far in Mount Albert, just as a maintenance machine. So
So, thinking of structural, builders, will they bring in a machine like this in order to be able to create their, basically craft on site, so that they are able to build from, say, steel or something like that?
Absolutely, and they'll get an order for a building, and they'll start the building list and start making all the parts and components for that building, and get it shipped out.
I suppose that allows them to bring in just raw material and...
Yes, it does. So they bring in the random 20-foot lengths or longer lengths, and the structural, and it's cut and punched to length, and on these machines.
Neat stuff. Well, thanks, Kurt, for being on the show today. Probably the largest unboxing, if you will, that we've ever had on Category 5 TV. Very interesting stuff. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you very much too, Robbie. Thanks, appreciate it.